So in other words, you yourself have nothing to note besides the incident. Jumpin' jalopy jackpot! What the heck? Mr. Yoinar, I see. I see you and I are on the exact same mind length. What the heck does that mean? I was about to say, and I quote, what the heck does that even mean, girl? Good day. Good people. Toonlink, Dave, Year of the Horizon. You're a United States aviator. After nothing went wrong at all last time, welcome back to more Ayakashi Akashi. I'm excited for this. We finally get to meet all the students, so pardon me when I... Oh no, I didn't. I thought I screwed myself over. Pardon me while I take a swig of water. Clear my throat. Because it is time for more Ayakashi Akashi. And we're meeting all the students, and we're starting with Tina. Tina, Atu Pirka, you're Tina. Seat number 4. We got beef, Tina. Better make a better first impression this time around. Anything unusual? Let us see. There have been rumors amongst the girls as of late. Some say they hear strange voices. Strange voices? Like what? Also, thanks for the support on the last episode. A lot of you actually really enjoyed it, and a lot of you came from nowhere who were like, oh, goodness gracious. This is great. Some of you were just Ayakashi Akashi fans, so welcome. Welcome here. Strange voices? Like what? Well, it's not as if I heard them myself. Inquire with Ia, if you please. Tina was a wealthy daughter, of course, from the E2 Perka financial conglomerate. In short, a very large group that held considerable power in this area. As for the girl herself, I guess you could say she's hard to get a hold on. While her thinking itself was sound, her unbending nature made it common for her to clash with other people, which was a bit concerning. It is a very strange occurrence for this class alone to all have the same dream. Hopefully it is a dream, and hopefully we're not dreaming right now, and when we wake up our boy's still dead. Is Rokuro my boy? We'll see. Alright, you can go. Pardon me. Alright. You're gonna be trouble. I knew you were trouble when you walked in and out. Who's next? Seat number 2. Yuki Utashiro. Alright, Yuki, what's good? I'm sleepy. That's nothing new. You were the first witness. Yes, Yuki? I'm part of the campus cleanup committee, so I woke up early to water the flowers in the classroom. And then, I fainted as soon as I saw it. Yuki always seemed to be sleepy, half awake during class at best. However, she did good work for the cleanup committee, every morning, so I didn't think she lacked diligence, even if she nodded off in class. Not every day you see a corpse. It's alright. Get some rest. Okay. I'm sure it was just a dream, yeah? Though I don't feel like I slept at all. We're technically in class, so don't sleep now. I think this is a circumstance where we can bend the rules a little bit, Yoinara. I think you can go ahead and sleep on this one, you can sleep on this one, Yuki. Oh. She was all set to conk out, huh? I guess so. Who's next? That's 2 down. Seat number 7. Iya Shishibe. Hey. He is great. He is one of my favorites. Tina told me you heard strange voices. Strange voices? Oh yeah, I did. Kinda like moaning? Moaning? Like, ooh, spooky moaning? Grah! Something like, sort of like that, so I'm dying moaning. That's the kind of moaning that is. I call that growling myself. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, maybe so. Yeah, that's the ticket. Ia looked and acted flashy, but didn't behave badly or anything. I call her a lighthearted student. She reminds me of a Buki. But occasionally she'd be too lighthearted and have that taken advantage of. Sounds like a Buki. Well, I don't I don't know if it has anything to do with this though. Right now I want to hear whatever anyone has to say. Alright, you're done. Rudy Tooty, Righty Tooty, not Rudy Tooty, Righty Tooty, okay. Lefty Loosey, Righty Tooty, Righty Tooty, I'm also confused. Yoinara. Who's up? Oh, our class president, Kashima Akebono, seat number 1. No need to strain your voice so much. I'm the class president, so I feel it's only expected of my title. So, something unusual. I can't really say I know anything. Wouldn't even count Yokuro dying, honestly. Not even a person's death is unusual. Ma'am? How do I reach these kids? Look, you just plain expect him to get murdered, right? Even if it was a mass dream. Well, I do expect he'd earn grudges. That's fair. That is fair. There have been countless times where I might have gone through with my murderous intents if it had not been for the laws of this land. That's okay. That's not okay, actually. You shouldn't have told me that one, but okay. Like, he doesn't earn it with the things he does. I'd prefer it if he were a simple skirt flipper, honestly, but no, you don't. You're fine with skirt flipping. Why not? It's just fabric. Kashima, you got a lot to learn. Kashima was overly serious, or maybe more accurately, she played by her own bizarre rules. Sometimes she'd make some dangerous sounding proclamations too. And there had been times she nearly went fist flying, which I am here for. Welcome to the Punch Club. She had a tendency to let her feelings overcome her a bit too often. Despite how she spoke, her eyes were wavering quite a bit, likely due to her over-diligent personality. With everyone thinking it was a strange dream, she might have been the one most disturbed by this incident. She was like, I've had this dream before. Did I do it this time? Well, okay. Don't overdo it. You can go now. Excuse me. Well, okay. We got a lot of kids to meet, don't we? Oh, wait. This is our favorite. Susaina. I am Susaina Kano. Seat number 5. Haha. The god within me is speaking. They say, things thus far have been much too peaceful. So in other words, you yourself have nothing to note besides the incident. Jumpin' jalopy jackpot! What the heck? Mr. Yoinar, I see. I see you and I are on the exact same mind length. What the heck does that mean? I was about to say, and I quote, what the heck does that even mean, girl? Why? Just what it sounds like. Why is she making a face like it's only natural that I understand? Well, I believe it to be a bad dream, but... Susaina, she surely loved the occult. She'd sometimes bring up spiritual matters, often making me unsure of how to react. The phrase she used tended to get oddly stuck in my memories. In fact, I almost said them myself sometimes. Alright, you can go. Get out of here. Righto, rigatoni. I am the most regarded rigatoni. The most personable pasta. Get out of here. Get out of here, Susaina. I'm here for your quirky attitude, though. She's my favorite student. Who's next? Mino Nara Idate. Seat number, with this 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 9. Yep! I had a feeling he was gonna interject. Something strange, huh? Is teacher really a... I'm sorry? Is teacher really a virgin? Who told you that? Who told you my secrets? Yeah. Her, huh? The answer's no. Oh, I see. So what's a virgin? Oh, that's where we're headed, huh? Oh well, nothing from you then. Get out of here. Is it something you eat? You're not Alright. Okay. God. I'm sorry. I need a second after that one. Oh man. Ooh. Oh, hey, that one got me tearing up a little bit. That was a good one. Mino, this is hilarious. Oh yeah, that's a good comedy duo. She don't got it. Mino was as lighthearted as Io. Or rather, she was basically floating. Wild would probably be the ideal word to describe Mino. Much like a feral child, her physical abilities were extremely high, but she mostly flunked outside of PE. Alright, you can go back to your seat now. Gotcha! Freaking Mino, I'm crying, my gosh, that was great, oh my goodness. Seat number 6, Naki Koruriko. Let's see. So this is interesting. And we'll keep going. I don't think I know anything. I haven't come to school in a while. Right. You can only occasionally come to school due to your performing work. Yeah. No hope in that. Well, I mean, I think it was a dream. It's just all kinds of strange. Naki was active in the entertainment world from a young age and seemed fairly popular, so he could only sometimes come to school. I'm just curious. They had all the girls go first. And then they have Naki come next. I'm not saying that Naki's a girl. I'm not saying that at all. I just think it's curious that he's the first boy to come forward. That's all I got. Even so, he was an excellent student who got above average test scores. His lack of attendance made it hard to show that on a report card though. He apparently used a stage name. I had never seen Naki on TV. Even though according to him, he appeared pretty regularly. So right when you arrived, disaster struck. Don't put it like that, Mr. Yoinara. I'm a student of class 212. 2-1 as well, Mr. Naki. Right, sorry. You can go back now. Don't push yourself too much, Mr. Yoinara. Suspicious. Who's next? Oh boy, here we go. Rokuro Yamakagashi, seat number 12. Well, I wouldn't say there's been anything too bizarre. Just getting my body tore up and hung and killed. That's about it, that's all. That's the only thing that's been a little crazy, a little bit worldy-doo. Taking words right from Susanna. You're the one who I wanted to hear from the most. But seriously, that's all I've got. That's all he's got. Huh. Alright. Basically, I'm the one who wants to know what happened to me. Rokuro was the most difficult person to deal with in the class, and the hardest to tell what he was thinking. Self-conceited, and not very cooperative. I got the gist of that, if I'm being completely honest. He was a load of trouble. If he were a little more mature, just a smidgen more mature. If even you don't know, guess there's even if you don't know, guess there's nothing I can do. I don't know why, the inflection got me on that one. That's right. You can go for now. I'll ask later if something strikes me. You want to talk to me that bad, Yoi-chan? Not right now, no. Feel free to leave. Rude. Get out of here. Let me talk to Zero. Hope he's next. That's not Zero, it's Riku. Mr. The Vampire. Rantaro the Vampire. That's my boy. Seat number 8. Riku Takaso. What has me curious is how I heard you've been going to the local Abra Sopa shop lately. Me? Why am I curious? Pretty much daily, if I hear right. How do you know that? Oh, because I go there too. Karuta likes Aruba Soba. Come to think of it, he does. Is that unusual? I'm constantly shaking my head about how you two can eat it so often and never get tired of it. Riku was he was like, it's nasty. How do you eat it? Please go on. Elaborate, sir. Riku was highly self-confident and looked down on some others some, but proved to be a helpful sort. He and Karuta got along well. I did feel their friendship was mostly a result of Karuta's tolerance for giving Riku's eccentricity, though. My brain was like, electricity, and I was like, no, that's wrong. You're getting older, Mr. Uranara, so you should pay more heed to your health sooner or later. If I could die from Aruba Soba, I'd be pretty happy with that, sir. Karuta said something similar. You guys are beyond help. If that's all you wanted to ask, get out of here. You're not being very helpful, but you got great hair. Got it. Excuse me. That really was it? That was... Send Zero in. You're not Zero either, but I like you. you're the person I gave the bro voice, and I don't think that's it might be fitting. Seat number 3, Karuta Uruwashi. Something strange, huh? Like, you eating Aruba Soba every day? Riku already mentioned that. Calm yourself. I don't need... I am Professor Yoinara, and you will treat me with respect. Oh, I see. Then I'll ask Riku later. No need to do that. Karuta had no particular specialties, but he had a high average, you might say. He generally gave me the impression that he could shrewdly work out anything. He had a big-hearted personality too, no real faults to speak of, so just your average nice guy. Nothing else in particular? Oh, the new Aruba Soba shop they opened in Katenbashi is pretty good. That is good info. Thank you. We're getting along. Nice. Let's eat there together sometime, Mr. Yoinara. Bro. Later. You can go back to your seat. I like how Yoinara didn't just brush him off. He was like, we'll talk about it later. Alright. Okay. And now... You're also not Zero, but you are Haito Manai. Seat number 11. Anything amiss? Well, I won a ticket to an Emi-chan concert recently. Is she an idol? Yeah. You like her too, Mr. Yoinara? I just know the name. What a shame. She'll brighten up your life. Anyway, that's why, if time really got rewound, it makes me want to die. Haito liked pop idols. Interesting. Enough to sometimes skip school to go to concerts. Lately, he's been cautious not to let his grades drop accordingly, but... show some moderation. If you make your truancy too obvious, there will be extreme measures. Which is more important to you, Mr. Yoinara? Studying or living? I suggest you live and study. You can go now. Get out. Yep. Fool. Goodness gracious, Haito's some trouble. My boy! Zero, number 10. Seat number 10. Zero Mana Zanka. Nothing's been amiss. I grew a little taller. You're still growing? How tall are you? I was gonna say, this man's the tallest one here. 191 centimeters. That's really tall. $191. That's inches. That's really tall. Huh, that's outrageous. This man's just towering. I wonder if this is a dream too. It isn't right now, I'm sure. Figures. Zero had a large frame. He's towering! Zero, please! Making him the most conspicuous person in the classroom. Often he would react candidly, or be spacing out. Something that had me curious, I felt people picked fights with him often, even students from other schools. Part of the problem was that he generally didn't turn people down. Considering how often I saw him with Rokuro, I couldn't take my eyes off of him for a number of reasons. Alright, go ahead, you can go now. Right. Ouch. You sure are clumsy. Yes. Did you hit your head on the way out? Zero was the last one. I'll head back to the classroom. Is everyone alive in here? Everyone good? Nobody dead? As I thought, all the students seemed to believe this event was a dream. The death of a classmate, the reversal of time? True. They both seemed like dreams. So, what all have you ascertained from us? We all had the same mass dream after all. Something like that, right? No. I'm certain this is the work of an Ayakashi. You really put that together real quick. Yoinara, you didn't waste any time. You were just like, oh yeah, no, this is Ayakashi business. Ayakashi? How occult? How metal, dude? Hold on now, you can't just throw out that word casually and expect us to understand. For now, just listen to me. Welcome to Mr. Professor Yoinara's. Mr. Professor Yoinara's, yes, of course. His theater of logic and reason. Let me ask you all, what do you think happens to people when they die? Who would know without dying first? You go to the good place. Ah, heaven, right? There exists worlds, the world of gods, the world of spirits, the world of the dead, the physical world, and hell. We exist in the physical world, so Santa, you can stop right there because the game wouldn't even let you go on. I'm guessing it'd be a long one. There are many theories about the afterlife, but people generally believe that the soul leaves the body, and that soul goes to some other world. To put it simply, that world and this world can be thought of as opposing shores. You guys must be pretty serious to be thinking about the afterlife while you're still living. Death is a once-in-a-lifetime event after all. Longing to know things that are hard to know might just be human nature. However, there are exceptional cases where souls can't reach the other shore. So, it's not as if you go there immediately once you die? Souls with strong feelings towards this world will stubbornly refuse to cross over. Ah, like Baku Ray? The Earthbound spirits? Earthbound was a great game! Ness! If only the soul wanders the world of the living, then that is what it is. Yes. But on rare occasions, it may cling to its body and become a living corpse. Sounds like what you call a zombie. You're not necessarily wrong. Simply put, since their body is dead, it won't mature anymore. Oh. To break it down into even simpler terms, they're ghosts that anyone can see. But if the process is quick enough, couldn't it be treated like a miraculous revival? Wouldn't it be possible for them to just return to the living world, or the living as normal? To jump ahead a bit, yes it would. And more troublesome yet, souls that dwell here too long begin to grow mad and lose control of their self. At the root of their desire to remain in this world lies an attachment to life. When a soul loses control, that attachment grows stronger, and it attacks the living. So it became even more out of control. Correct. That's why people like us send them to the other side. Is one of us an Ayakashi? You would think it would be the two that we saw before, Riri and the other one. But it could be one of us too. That's all I'm saying. And we are their senders. So we call ourselves. I've heard the term. Something about a lineage of diviners forming a succession. I haven't, but... You're not a teacher. Teach? Well, I wasn't always set to be a successor, but then my older sister died. I inherited the duty from her after quitting my old job and becoming the teacher I am now. I see. So that's Yoinara's sort of secret past. So you're saying this affair wasn't a dream, but an Ayakashi's doing? That's what I think. Yes. Doesn't feel very realistic. It's too outrageous to keep up with. Sure, but if you look around, unrealistic things are happening. Bro. It's more believable to me that it was a nightmare we all had together. Is it? I really would never believe that. So, Yoi-chan, whose fault are you saying it is? Yoinara's. That I don't know yet. Judging from the facts that the effects have only been on this class, all I can say is there's a possibility that they're here in our class. There's an Ayakashi with Mino? Ho ho ho, I'd love to speak to them. Don't. Won't they slice you up? If this were a manga, it'd be like you noticed someone had a special aura, or you'd use some sixth sense. But you can't tell, can you, Mr. Yoinara? As I said, this wasn't my job. I wasn't set to be the successor. Maybe my sister could have done that, but I can't. Well, I guess it could be Mr. Yoinara. That's also a possibility. I wonder, what'll happen tomorrow? I'm probably gonna die again, right? Then we just need to protect Rokuro. It's currently unclear what circumstances led to Rokuro being attacked, though. Is there any way I could assist Mr. Yoinara? I'll help out too. And Mino. Alright, how about you gather up books on yokai? Yokai. Actually, they're referred to Ayakashi too. Is there a meaning to that? Well, beings we call Ayakashi have existed for a long time. We use Ayakashi in a specific way now. But that word far predates that. I'm thinking we'll look for creatures whose natures match our current phenomenon, then go from there. Also, is it possible that there's two of them then? I would have thought you would be knowledgeable since that's your line of work. It was not. I was never meant to be the successor. My previous job was totally unrelated to all of this as well. What was your previous job? That's also curious. I never believed that much in anything related to the occult, so I lack that knowledge. Would Susaina know about it? I do know more than the average person. But it's not all sorted in my head like I'm a walking dictionary, I'm afraid. However, I may be of service in finding the proper literature. You also could be the Ayakashi. Let's go to the library then. Are you sure? Aren't we having class? The principal's pretty lax, we'll manage. You're so graceless, Yoi-chan. Kashima still hasn't seemed to have adjusted the situation. Well, look, we got a ghost in the class, but they don't look like a ghost, they look like one of us. That's the whole story. Uh-oh. Oh, thank goodness we get to save again. What are we at? About half an hour, so we're maybe halfway through this episode. I know that this chapter is about 3-ish hours of gameplay. But the story had really got intriguing right after Yokuro died. But I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. So what do we got here? Do we have items? Oh, we do have items. Oh, it's just freaking werewolf notes. I wonder if those will come in handy again. We still have them, so maybe. Oh, we have a whole roster. Oh, this is neat. Oh. I wonder if any of them don't have the little seal on them. Or any of them are slightly different. Oh, and it even gives them like it shows their like scores. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Oh, and this man's is really 4s all across the board. She's great in the actual stuff, and then poor in the electives, the arts. Who's? I'm sure someone's like 5s all across the board, you know? Nobody's 5s all across the board. We got no super geniuses in here. Alright, well, in that case, let's go ahead. You need to go search the library. No. Is there anything else I can click? I don't like that there's nothing here right now. That's really bothersome to me. Alright. We need to go search the library. Yeah, we do. Climbing up some awfully creaky steps, we arrived at the school library. It was a little snug, but filled with a variety of books. There were history books, dictionaries, even somewhat dated mangas and novels. Are there books on Ayakashi? Allow me to answer that as the library assistant. There are also books in that small storeroom over there, you see. But I believe we'd have better luck. Oh, it's been locked. Going back to the first floor to borrow the key from the staff room would be troublesome. Mino can open it. Won't open. You tried, Mino. If you need physical labor, it is my time to shine. No, hold on. We can't force it open. If we break the door, we'll be in trouble for sure. Unless we go back in time again, in which case... Go ahead and break it! Then, how about lockpicking? Such a thrilling notion. I cannot perform it myself, however. I bet Rokuro could do it, right? Hey now, what kind of life leads someone to learn lockpicking? Nope, can't do it. Eh? You've totally got the personality of someone who could. Consider the full extent of my life. It's not like I'm... I can do it, I think. Really? That's a surprising skill. You're not telling us something? Surprising is an understatement. I couldn't have imagined it for a millisecond. Well, I was on a show once where the director was looking for some realism. Had me practice over and over until I could do it. I can imagine you being like a magician of sorts. It was a while ago though, so I can't be certain. Lockpicking, that needs a wire. Mino, Mino, what the heck? Your treasure collection? Mino has one in her treasure collection. Whoa, amazing! Is that an extra dimensional pocket? Bro? Treasure, you sure it's not garbage? You probably shouldn't say that with an earshot of Mino. Well then, hold on. Mr. Oinara, will picking the lock get us in any trouble? It's fine in my book. Ah, that's good. Well then why couldn't Mr. Oinara just go down and get the key? He's staff. Interesting. With that, Naki turned to the storeroom door and began work. Just as I found myself thinking, what middle schooler can pick a lock? There was a small, echoing click. With a twist of the knob, the door opened with a slightly unpleasant creaking sound. The rest of the students watched, raising their voices in admiration. Well, it really opened. Is there even a point in security measures? In this case, I believe Sir Naki's skills should be applauded. I don't think it's a very commendable skill. Probably not. You shouldn't applaud this man for breaking and entering. Y'all are bad influences. Well then, now we can scrape together some books. She's the library assistant, so we're in the clear. Also, the teacher's here. That's probably a better defense. Entering the storeroom with a forceful shout, Susanna, stop! This class is so loud. We're trying to be sneaky. we are sneaking, and they're just be like, ah! What are they doing? Entering the storeroom with a forceful shout, Susanna started pulling books off of the shelves at a rapid pace. I'll hold some books too. I'm a library assistant myself, but we have two you look. He's a library assistant. Clearly, he's allowed to pick locks in the library. That's just how it goes. That's how it goes. We're gonna get in trouble. But the duties all fall to her since I'm not around. Let Zero help too. He's super strong. Leave it to me. Sir Rokuro, won't you assist? Well, you gotta give the right job to the right guy, yeah? I'll go ahead and check out these books for info about Ayakashi. I'm their first victim after all. Ooh, spooky. I'm alive, but was I dead? Who knows? That's more efficient, right? Quite a convincing excuse coming from you, Sir Rokuro. Thanks for the compliments, Susanna-chan. So, the odds are that it's not Rokuro. I'm not really one for reading. I guess I'll help carry. If Ia carries, Mino will carry too. Hey, if that's what you girls are doing, I guess I'll handle searching. Well, maybe I'll search as well then. That's more my style. The students went dividing up their duties. Ultimately, the book-carrying group and the material-searching group were of exactly the same size. So, how should we look this up? For now, we'll just make judgment based on Rokuro's cause of death and predicament. You might not want to remember it, but if you could give us a little more detail. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we haven't heard his entire point of view. Well, let me tell you, Snappy Boy, I went home without making any stops, like usual, and sat down at home like usual, too. At least, I'm pretty sure I did. Then all of a sudden, someone's standing right in front of me. Next thing I know, I'm in class 2-1. Even though I had changed clothes at home, I was still wearing my uniform. Before I could get a grasp of the situation, someone gouged me hard enough to make my entrails fly. Yeah, basically, instant death. Oh, your entrails, that's not good. You're really something, kid. Mr. Yoinara, I gotta use the bathroom. Go ahead and vomit. Okay. Haito shot off like a rocket before I could even finish speaking. Well, sure, to call that an extreme description is an understatement. Well, no, his entrails just went it happens. It doesn't happen. That's bad. How are you even able to recall what happened so clearly? Exactly, that's what I was wondering. If your entrails go flying, you don't usually remember that. Your body's like, well, it's time to black out. Peace. Well, it was a mystery to me too, what happens to people when they die. But then I experienced it. First, my soul left my body. I was looking at me. A near-death experience, or something like it, I suppose. It's not exactly near-death if you actually passed away, bro. Not though, bro. I don't know why he's got the bro voice. I don't. Glad that was a dream, but all that stuff I sensed wasn't very dreamy. It didn't hurt. Oh, maybe since they went so hard, all my senses died before I could understand the pain. My ears were ringing the whole time. I couldn't understand anything except, oh, I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. Don't you recall who did you in? I remember, but I can't say it here. What? Why so unwilling? There's a sequence to these things, Yoi-chan. Now's not the time. It's amazing you can remember that much. It's like, what was I just dreaming about all the time myself? So anyway, that Ayakashi, its attempt to kill me failed, obviously. Cause they messed with the really? The omniscient, omnipotent, and sage Rokuro-chan. You were the sage. What an exaggerated scale. That's the point where you're supposed to laugh, Yuki-chan. We're talking about serious things here. You died. If we keep talking about serious stuff, won't everyone end up like Haito-chan? Ugh. So then, in what way will this guide us to our Ayakashi? Well, to surmise from what we just heard, we have capable of kidnapping people and capable of tearing up bodies. So, on our long checklist of bad, question mark, checkbox number 1, kidnapping, check. Number 2, dismembering. I don't quite remember. Oh wait, intro spawn now. That's a checkaroo. That's 2 out of 2 so far. That's bad. So we only need to search for an Ayakashi that possesses those 2 qualities? That's still probably going to be difficult. No. I want you to think of them separately. Oh. So Yoinara, I think, has kind of figured this out, that it has something to do with those 2, students that, or 2 children figures that he saw prior to. So, one of them is probably capable of kidnapping, the other one's probably capable of tearing up bodies. Very rarely there are Ayakashi that have incredible power, but, in practice, overly powerful abilities tend to destroy their fragile bodies. A freshly dead amateur Ayakashi would be blown to smithereens. Calling an Ayakashi an amateur is a strange lot of ways. Strange in a lot of ways. The smart ones are apparently able to conceal themselves in our world without anyone noticing their unmaturing bodies. However, most are not noticed by the people walking around them. They come talk to us. So it's possible not much time has passed since they died. Actually, why would dying and being revived give them mysterious powers anyway? I hear that the heightened power of the soul caused by the attachment to life does something or another. That isn't exactly a point you should be so vague on, is it? But if that's the case, that means there are 2? At least. I didn't think about being more than 2, but 2 makes sense. It's also rare for Ayakashi to cooperate, but it's not unheard of. Could there be others, I wonder? Personally, I'm most curious about the reversal of time. Yes, that's curious to me. Unless that is also an outside force that's trying to help us solve this and trying to help us, or help guide us to our actual destiny of being the next... I don't remember what they called it. The successor to his eldest sister. Whatever she was called. Since there's a possibility, it was like a prophetic dream or the like. I cannot believe that was a dream. Kashima pounded a desk and shouted, we are in a library! Shh! Kashima, you should know better, you're the class president. And shouted to interrupt everything we were saying. Wow! What are you shouting for all of a sudden? I find it much harder to accept that what I felt was just fiction. My happiness at being invited out after school the day before, and how I looked after Yuki when she collapsed. The weight of Yuki's head on my legs, and the thought of why did Rokoru have to die? The way you always treat me, you sure didn't think serves him right? Of course not. Sure, Rokuro's not a good person. He might be loud, obnoxious, a jerk. But he's not a bad guy either. Rokuro, you should probably be nicer to her. I heard a loud voice over here. What's wrong, Kashima-chan? Did Rokuro finally make you cry? Kind of, but not in the way that you would think. Rokuro, you no good. No, it wasn't me. Okay. Kashima, you've been quietly enduring this the entire time. The whole time, haven't you? You poor thing. You seem to have taken this incident the hardest out of everyone. I see. When you asked about it this morning, I said probably just a dream and laughed it off. I'm sorry. Besides, just Rokuro, I can't imagine there are any bad people in this class. No one ever said really that the Ayakashi are bad. They've just lost control. Looking at everyone here, as a class president, I can't think anything else. You're right. It's unbelievable that there'd be a villain among us. It's totally fine to have ideals, but in the end, you're just hoping, right? Now, hold on! Now, just wait, wait! What in tarnation? You didn't have to phrase it like that. Then would you be okay with it if you died tomorrow, Iya-chan? You saw how I kicked it. He was like, well, that didn't look too pleasant. I didn't die because I wanted to die. Someone did the deed. Someone did the dirty deed. Feel free to go into a little more detail until nobody can hope but believe there's a killer among us. Rokuro, give it a break. Rokuro. His body went numb from Zero's shout. I wasn't expecting that. My heart jumped a little bit. The likes of which I had never heard before. Zero approached Rokuro, then lifted him a little roughly with one hand. I'll borrow this. His entire body? And I'll apologize in your place. Kashima, Iya, sorry. Why are you apologizing, Zero? Yeah, it's Rokuro who's saying all that mean junk. He just doesn't know how to use his words very well. Please forgive him. I guess I could see it being you two working together, but Rokuro died. You realize you're still agreeing with me that it's wishful thinking, right? You're just some idiot yourself, Zero. Punch him. Punch him in the face. Kashima-chan, Iya-chan, you shouldn't put that much hope in people. I don't like your sly smile during this. I think you'll live more comfortably that way. Ow! Still holding him with one hand, Zero firmly hit Rokuro in the back with the other. Good! He deserved it! And just like that, they vanished among the bookshelves. I hope it is just Rokuro dying every day. Wow, never heard Zero shout like that. Kashima-chan, are you okay? Yes, sorry. Thanks. Interesting. I must admit, Sarokuro's excuse had a bit of logic to it. For when humans interact with others, they hide that which is inconvenient to them. More importantly, we must quickly find our bearings regarding the Ayakashi. For our time is limited, isn't it, Mr. Yoinara? But teacher, is it okay to leave those two alone? Zero had a real stern look on his face, bro. It was kinda scary. Bro? Indeed, I am curious about those two, considering how Zero was acting. However, how Kashima and Iya feel after that is also a concern. Like Tina says, if someone's going to die again tomorrow, we need to be quick in searching these materials. Oh boy. I don't know how much this affects the story. I don't. So I'll ask again, what would you do? Go after Zero and Rokuro? Comfort Kashima and Iya? Or go and research the Ayakashi? I feel like Zero can handle Rokuro. I feel like they can comfort each other. I think this is really the most important thing. Because we don't know anything. I think this is the most important thing. I think we gotta research. Ma, you aren't concerned about the other students? Oh gosh darn, I am a teacher. The other students isn't... They all have each other. I bet they're more on top of things than I think. More importantly, something needs to be done about this. Time's not gonna wait for us. Such a candid sword, Mr. Yoinara. Pretty cool-headed yourself. Father has raised me that such trifles will not shake me. What's your father like anyhow? Oh my, you seem to have no interest in the other students, so I believed you had no interest in myself either. Didn't say anything like that. I care about all these kids. Only joking. Come now. There. Carry you. I don't know why. I really don't want to talk to you. I still have beef. You could have given me an umbrella. Your family's rich. You probably carry like 4. They're carrying over one book after another. Let us research. Are we gonna find anything out? Man, I can't believe how many copies of the same book this place has. Unreturned books were a frequent occurrence, as I'm told. Well, at any rate, this much should be plenty. Making multiple copies of everything with the expectation of them being stolen. Our principal is absurdly heavy-handed, huh? There's been a sharp decrease since I became the library assistant, however. Okay. Parentheses, relatively speaking, close parentheses. Thanks for putting in the actual parentheses. Bet you still need this many, huh? Well, how's progress looking? A bit troubled, we still haven't found anything. We've been looking for Ayakashi with qualities resembling capable of abducting and capable of tearing people up, right? I see. So we should help look too, then. Yes. Anyone gonna find anything? How about this? The Aobozu. There's also the Yamanba. Or how about the Tsuchigumo? Tengu. There's quite a few that could fit the description when it comes to abducting people. As for tearing people up, attacking people, Kama Itachi? Oh, but they heal the wound. Wolfmen. Do those count as yokai? There's also Nekomata, I guess. Well, anything to narrow it down helps. Finding a link to the events of their life will make it easier to get the specifics. Events of their life. Because Ayakashi have an abnormal amount of attachment to this world, you can expect their life provided a reason for that. I don't want to suspect old Naki here, but every time. For kids around your age, the most common thing would be familial circumstances. Ah. So in other words, wouldn't that be the kind of matter that they wouldn't dare talk about? Let me append it a bit about Ayakashi. To send Ayakashi to the next world, they must have been made aware of their death. And Ayakashi extremely like becoming aware of how they died only makes sense, I suppose. I wouldn't say Ayakashi don't feel guilt, but their attachment to life beats out all other emotions. And Ayakashi confessing on their own accord, will more or less never happen. And more troublesome is that sometimes, even they're not aware they're an Ayakashi. Meaning, you have to expose them by force? This is really interesting! Okay, in a case like this, no one notices what they are. That you do. Gosh. Even when they're alive, though, there's all kinds of stuff you wouldn't want others to know about. Yet, it's utter absurdity to say that we should hand over our lives for such a reason. Just because time was reversed once does not mean it will happen again tomorrow. Exactly. That is what I'm concerned about. Are we actually about to start losing these kids? In which case, someone's really gonna die. This is getting really scary all of a sudden. Still, there's no guarantee that someone will die tomorrow either. We have to do whatever possible to avoid the worst case scenario. But what do we do? I'd like to go and check out some different material personally. Can Mino go too? No. I'm afraid I can't think of any good reason to take my students outside. But you can't just leave us either, right, bro? We can manage. If another teacher asks, we'll just give them an excuse. I'd appreciate it if you could, but we gotta make a scarecrow that looks like Mr. Yoinara. Oh, that might be good. Though, we'll be found out if anyone looks too close. With a mop from the broom closet, I believe we can make something convincing you guys. This man is not just a mop head. He is handsome, Professor Mishima. True, if we dip it in a little ink, they shouldn't notice it's a mop at a glance. Do I resemble a mop that closely? You do have a mop head, Mishima. Gosh darn it. Yoinara. Well then, I'll hurry out. You get back to the classroom. Understood. I'll keep a close eye on everyone. But the principal was walking around on the 3rd floor earlier. It'll be trouble if he sees you and asks what's up. You're right. Maybe you should go during the break after this period. That does make more sense. Getting caught could be really costly. There's only about 10 minutes left. Guess I'll wait. And with that, we can talk to more people. And I think we will talk to everyone this time. By interacting with more students, you may encounter special events later on. Touching the question mark will advance time. But we will save first, because we've been playing for about 2 hours total. So, I mean, talk to everyone, right? Let's start with Tina. Go ahead, Tina. It's all you. Oh, Susanna and Tina, so you're both together. Interesting. Susanna and Tina are talking over there. Talk! Oh, if it isn't Professor Yoinara. Susanna and Tina. That's a rare combination. Oh? I believed us to have a considerable companionship. Indeed, I suspect that you would say that no matter who I was with, Mr. Yoinara. Well, yeah, yeah. But if you were chatting it up with Rokuro, I might think there'd be a cataclysm or on the horizon or something. The end of the world. I must agree with you there. If you ask me, there might be a case of disliking those who remind you of yourself. And I will not deny that either. Humans are strange creatures, oft fighting with one another due to none other than their own resemblance. Tell him, Tina. You say that like you've just had a sudden revelation, Tina. Well, I also believe you view things in a more objective way than the others. I could say the same of Sir Rokuro. It's like you're always taking a step back to observe the full picture. Though, Sir Rokuro's proficiency is then proceeding to make attacks on people. To think one's mouth could so endlessly spout such sarcasm targeting at so many people, I can respect it in a way. You're no slouch yourself. Do not forget our umbrella incident, you know. We're still beefing. Still beefing. You're growing on me, but we're beefing. Yes, I believe you couldn't do that without knowing what kind of person you're dealing with. I'm envious as can be at that supreme level of insight. Come to think of it, Werewolf is a game that places emphasis on that. Indeed. And such is why Sir Rokuro and Lady Tina were so powerful. There were also a number of players then that were all too easy to figure out. Madame Kashima is quite emotional, and Sir Zero may appear to be hard to read, but his expressions are tell-all. Even Madame Susanna tends to show her with her face that she is feeling all tense. Sir Rokuro never trusts anyone to begin with, almost as if he's given up on relating with others. Could something have happened regarding your own relationships, Mr. Yoinara? What makes you think that? You intentionally, or no, I think unconsciously, it appears as if you're holding back your expressions of emotion. And from the pause in your last statement, I wonder if you aren't somewhat aware. Whoa, would you look at that? Where can I buy such a keen eye? Well, let me tell you, you can go down to Avius Wares and Despairs. We got keen eyes. dull eyes, 2 eyes, 1 eyes, fake eyes, AIs. Let's go. It may be called my pedigree, for I must put on the perfect look in dealing with other people. I'm good at investigating, but it's hard to know how to teach myself such powers of conjecture. Humans aren't creatures one can define and divide into some number of categories after all. They are complex beings. I suppose one should first start by knowing their own true selves, their own self well, before they turn to others. Your own self. Indeed. So, Mr. Yorinara, could I ask you to offer your services as a teacher? When one confronts themselves, where should they be looking, do you think? Yeah, at the parts that you dislike. At the parts you don't like, I guess. Oof. So, you're also acquainted. I do believe that means she's complimenting you. Find many things you dislike about yourself. That is what Father told me. He said to even treat others as mares, and know yourself as best you can. I get it. That must be a cause in disliking those similar to you, too. Interesting. It strengthens one's mind the longer you can look at yourself. It does seem like your spirit would be the first thing to give in. Interesting. It is very telling about Tina, but it says nothing about Susanna. When you grow accustomed peering into within your own depths, you naturally start to see what others are hiding and what they dislike. For people's various natures reside in those depths. I see. I've learned a lot. Haven't you, Mr. Yoinara? I mean, it might prove necessary for this situation, but... that's right. If I might append, something to my observations about you, Mr. Yoinara, I might even think he's given up on himself. You're so blunt. Given up, you say? Sorry, but you got that wrong. I'm more unwilling to resign myself than you think. That's too bad. Even I have a ways to go, perhaps. Incidentally, I wasn't aware that my tenseness showed on my face. Indeed, but it is difficult to be aware of actions you do subconsciously or on instinct. What words would stimulate your deaths in which situations? Reaffirm that, and werewolf is a piece of cake. I get it. I've learned so much. Freaking happy Susanna brings me great joy. Next time I play werewolf, I'll pulverize, scandalize, and mesmerize. Let me at him. Is scandalizing really necessary? You make a good point, too. I look forward to the next time we can contend, Miss Susanna. Yes, absolutely. I have my honor to uphold, so I refuse to lose in a game of my own suggestion. Was it you who spread the game, Susanna? I brought in pretty much all of the tabletop games you see at the school. So I'm putting her in the clear too. There are many others, so I encourage you to try them out. You aren't too busy during summer break, are you? When I'm in the classroom, maybe. Then I will speak to you then. If I kept playing games like Werewolf, I could see myself getting tired out by all the suspicion. And actually, wasn't bringing games into school supposed to be banned? Well, the principal is pretty laxed. Alright, so we got our bro down there. Is that Zero? No, that's the other boy. Guess we'll start down here. Oh, this is Naki and... Why isn't Naki's picture there? Naki and Karuta are talking over there. Yeah, we'll talk. Oh, bro, it's Mr. Yorinaro. What's up, bro? Okay, I've got time until I leave. I thought I'd just take it easy. Well, I was just talking with Naki here. Yep, nothing interesting though. That lockpicking of yours was pretty amazing, bro. So like, do you do your own stunts? I'll do a certain level of action, but nothing that could really hurt. So do you refuse in that case? Yeah, I'd hate not being able to attend school more than anything. Really? So you actually miss coming to school like a normal human being? Even still, we haven't been able to hang out much as old times. What kicked off things for you in audition? Nah, I was scouted, while I was somewhere a bit far from here. Whoa, amazing, bro. While you're working so hard, I'm over here like, this food's tasty, bro. I'd still call that happiness. I've been so busy lately often. I'd have to get by on like a sandwich from a convenience store. Ah, is that right? That'd be rough for me. Well, one time, once this case is settled, let's all go for something tasty like soba. Karuta-kun, I'm guessing your recommendation would be a tempura place again. I mean, hey, they added a bunch of them in the past few years. Bro, come on. Do you have any favorite foods, Naki? Me? I'm not picky. Is there anything I especially like? Maybe strawberries? Sounds like an answer an idol would give. Ahaha. About the most I can do for meals is eat a bunch of strawberries, so... Oh, then maybe you should get a giant parfait at the cafe. Do they make giant parfaits? Yeah, they're like super huge. The other day, it took 5 of us boys to work down one. I bet Zero can eat plenty though. Nah, well, with sweets, it's bad to ingest too much at once. Am I gonna be okay after that? Sure, the flavor was good. It makes you want to eat it until you drop. Interesting. So, it keeps like, in my mind, I keep thinking that, Naki might be some sort of idol. Just in disguise. I don't know, but that's what I'm putting him as. I was wondering what kind of fun could be had in a rural town, but it sounds like you do plenty. No karaoke or bowling or anything though? I love both karaoke and bowling. As long as it has a train station, I think it's fine. Good point. Karuta-kun, do you have any dreams for the future? Karuta! My old man always pesters me to inherit the family business. I don't see it happening though. I'm sorry, I don't see it happening, bro. I see. We're too immature to resist our parents still. Oh yeah, what about you, Mr. Uenara? You know, dreams and stuff. My dreams? Yeah, tell us, I'm kinda curious myself. Dreams. I mean, I like these kids. But I know he'd like to do something. Let's think. Uenara, I know you'd like to do something else, but your current job, it's real nice. Except for, you know, we'd like to do something else. I know we would. Well, sometimes I do feel like doing something different somewhere else. Ah, like when you don't want to do a lesson? Well, that's fine. If maybe not worded the best way. Let's see, if I weren't being locked in by my family, I might aspire to be a teacher myself. I see. You can generally accomplish anything, I find, so I think you'd be highly valued here. There could definitely stand to be a few more teachers around here, yeah bro. There's a lot to the job. It's actually physically and mentally demanding. I respect those who do it myself. I think Riku's better at teaching though. Maybe the best of us. Well, I do have to say that Mr. Uenara is great. It's true, I'm the best. He always gets the gist of things for me. Oh, is that what you're doing when you stay after class? It's probably just my nature. I've always sought efficiency. This man's knows about efficiency. That's what we try and do. Wow, can you cook too? Well, there's this handy thing that they call meal delivery these days. So yeah, alright. Yes sir, say no more. Man, but really, there sure are a lot of great restaurants around here. Makes you want to eat it real bad. Karuta's just talking about food nonstop. Granted, Naki's diet is cause for concern. Strawberries, just strawberries? I agree. Alright. And then we will talk to... I wonder how much we can keep going. Because we probably should be close to the end of this chapter. What I don't want to do is talk to these folk, save it, end it, and then go to the next part, and then it's like 10 minutes. But I think I will probably do that. What's up? Zero and Haito. Yeah, Zero and Haito, really? Okay. Go ahead. What is this? You were worried for Haito too, Mr. Yorinara? I guess worry is applicable, yeah, sure. It's fine. I calmed down a bunch. Oof, I'm really not cut out for this. Hey, Yuki fainted too. In fact, the strange thing here is how the rest of us can bear it. Yes, indeed, some of our classmates even think it was a dream. Plus, there are so many of them, who have always been interested in this sort of occult business. Yeah, even back in grade school, we did stuff like Test of Courage and Expeditions in the Night. What is... You kids these days! Back in my day, we just play video games. Sounds dangerous, huh? You would say that... Some would say you learn danger by getting hurt. That is experience, but in reality, well, I can't handle scary stuff. But I liked sharing that tense excitement with everyone. Actually, when Zero's there, it's wild how relieved I feel, because he was a giant. You always did send me out in front. So you don't... Do you know any fear? So you don't know any fear, sir? I find people who abruptly pick fights with me all day more scary, painful, and unpleasant than anything. That's rough. That's rough, buddy. To think, when Zero himself is so nice. Like, he even slows his pace to match mine. Zero is a stand-up guy. I trust him now, completely and sincerely. You lack stamina, after all. Walking's tiring, okay? And how does that work out for you when you're going to concerts? Well, maybe you should have been the bro. I should have made this man's the bro. Haito, more like hype bro. When it comes to that, I've got a hollow leg, or an extra pair of legs, I guess? So in addition to break a leg, there's also spare 2 legs? You're really mixing up your sayings here, Zero. You got me confused. You know, Zero, you're pretty muscular. Do you work out? Indeed, it's important to build strength. You almost always slack off during swimming lessons in PE, Haito. I don't teach the secondary subjects, so I wasn't aware. You're a slacker when it comes to all those? Oh, that's a mean way to put it. I have terrible asthma, so I can't push myself too hard. I see. Yeah, you can't help that. Asthma sucks. I don't have it, and I'm glad I don't. But I can tell you it would be dreadful. It got worse at a point. He was in the hospital for a time. Yeah, I never expected it to get so bad so quickly. Alright, well now I gotta put him on the list of suspects. He could be dead. Was it some other sickness to blame? I wonder. Maybe his attachment to idols is what's got him here. I wonder if I got cursed during a test of courage. If that were it, I should have gotten cursed too, right? No, I mean, maybe. Mr. Yorinara, do you dislike the occult? Dislike? When you put it like that, maybe. Whoa. But it sure sounds like your job has stuff to, or your job has to do stuff with that. Those are words. That's Cinder, yes, Cinders, that's the word that I was looking for. Hey, which part don't you like? I don't like the truth of it being unclear. I wonder, maybe, how I'm not sure of what it really is. Eh? But there's even humans who I don't even comprehend. Indeed, dubious strangers are scary. In grade school, did you ever meet a ghost during a test of courage or anything? Did I ever? I feel like there were things along those lines, but after the fact, it typically starts to feel like they were just imagined. Yeah, that's how it goes. The scarier part for me was when my mom found out I had snuck out and got mad. I too was yelled at upon being found out. Here in Japan, they say fathers are as scary as earthquakes, thunder, and fires. But I suppose it's an era of mothers now. What about you, Mr. Yorinara? Was your wife scary? Is your wife scary? Hey, I'm single. My grandmother was harsh, though. We're having We're the same in having someone who's frightened when angered then. You may have conflicts from time to time, but try not to put too much worry on people who you're thinking about. That's true. Everyone's gotten a little less mischievous since they entered middle school. Personally, y'all seems pretty mischievous. Look at the situation. Y'all seem pretty mischievous to me, especially Tuya. Tuya definitely mischievous, I tell you what. You may only know us from middle school on, Mr. Uenara, but trust that this much is preferable to our grade school selves. Okay. The hardships their grade school teachers faced must be immeasurable. Yeah, I guess so. Alright, so we still have 3 to go then. So this is probably Yuki and somebody else. Let's see what it is. Click, 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 click. There we go. Iya and Yuki. Sure. I thought it would be Iya and Susanoo, but not Iya and Susanoo, it's Iya and Kashima, but it's Yuki. Mr. Uenara. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to intrude on anything. There's just some time until class is over, so I thought we could talk. Would you consider yourself able to come into a girl's conversation, Yoi-chan? Can't say I'm confident about that one, no. Aha! Even if you were confident enough to say yes, that'd be pretty startling. It's amazing how you never run out of things to talk about, Iya. Really? I just read magazines and watch TV and come across a lot of things I want to talk about with people. There's lots of places here that seem to have tasty food. You might want to talk to our boy over there. Karuto? I think that's... I don't remember. You got that right. Even though a bunch of people have left since that incident. I'm sorry? It makes me wonder how they keep their businesses running. Yeah, well, the incident? Excuse me? Well, the streets around Katenbashi are still busy. Plus, it's just fewer people. There's still buses and trains. So it's not like it's a big hindrance to the people's livelihood, I guess. More and more stores are closing now. I wonder if there's a way to get things busier here again. But I like when there's not as many people. It relaxes me. Do you know what's still curious about me? This little 2-eye thing. Everyone's got this heterochromia. I'm curious. And there's an incident? Is it a possibility that the whole class are Ayakashi? Or it's a whole town of Ayakashi? And our man's here just trying to send them all away? I don't know. There's a lot of big twists that could be happening, but we'll keep going. Because there's no one else around, Iya-chan. I can play lots and lots with everyone, you and everyone else. Yuki? Yeah, you're right. I like it too, Yuki. Huh. Sure enough, it is extremely difficult to intrude on this conversation. Is there anyone you like, Mr. Uenara? Oh, I'm kinda curious. Like, Kono-chan's really pretty, right? Who? Kono Hazuku, the music teacher? I mean, she is. And a good teacher, too. But that's merely what I think. I don't especially feel anything, plus she might be afraid of me. Why? Look at his demeanor. I can see how he could scare people away. Yeah, you do seem to be feared by most people but us. But if you think about it, you can study, and you're pretty athletic, Yoi-chan. Yeah, sure. A dependable guy like you should be more popular, I feel like. Are you sure it isn't because you don't smile much? Probably. That's the ticket. You gotta do... you gotta do something like this. Smile, Yoi-chan. Hit him with that smile. Well, this is sudden. I can't possibly force a smile. We gotta try. Like this. It's kinda... Well, it's better than usual, I think. Not what I was thinking. I can't even pull off an insincere smile right. Yoi-chan, we gotta get things right. We gotta fix you, boy. Do I really smile that little? What? Dear... Wait, what? Were you actually not aware of it? Even when you're mad, you don't feel very mad, Uenara-chan. Well, yes, as a teacher, isn't that proper? Now, when you're like... quietly angry, that's actually scarier. Then again, like, it seems people in our generation, or at least our class, aren't that bothered by it. I wonder if that's the reason it keeps reoccurring. Maybe there's just a lot of us who are kind of self-centered. Everyone has a clear idea of their opinions and what they like to do. I might be a little jealous. You don't, Yuki? I want to sleep forever. Same. Yeah, that's not a subject we can talk about. Well, even if they cause some trouble, our classmates aren't bad kids. Except for maybe 2 of them. Probably. I consider them to be vicious, even if they lack ill intent. Were you a mischievous kid, Yoi-chan? My grandmother was a harsh person, so I was obedient to avoid her wrath. Oh, then maybe being scary when you're angry is effective. Then again, when you get scary, even I think it's a little much. I just want people other than us to know you're a good guy, Yoi-chan. It's never felt like a big deal to me. You don't need to worry about it. But I wanna. Just like, for the sake of my own feelings. I can't stomach people being afraid of you just because of what's on the surface. I'm made plenty happy just by the fact that you feel that way. Thanks. Looks like Iya-chan still can't accept it. Well, first things first, I'm surprised she trusts me that much. Fair. Yeah, she's really concerned for you, Mr. Yorinara-chan. I hope she doesn't get got next. She is one of my favorites. Because you're a good teacher. You don't intrude on things that she doesn't want brought up. Okay, yeah, but that should be normal, right? That's fine, I guess. Okay. Alright, so we still got 2 to go. Riku and our homie there. I've got time. So I'm probably gonna just go through this. So, if you're looking at the little timer bar and it ends right now, that means that there's probably still at least an hour left. If not, we're about to end this in 2 parts. But if it is, stay classy. The next part will be out real soon. Year of the Horizon, Toon Link Days, United States Aviator taking off, Toodaloo, Flight Crew. Now that you've met everyone, tell me who your favorite student is. We've met all the students now. There's a bunch of them. I want to say Iya. Could be Susaina. But it also might be Zero. I think that's my top 3 right now. But I haven't seen these next 2 little scenes. So, stay classy. Until then, or maybe now, Toodaloo, Flight Crew. Thanks for watching.